We want to thank our sponsors again, our gold sponsors, Florida Power and Light, the City of Sarasota, and our silver level sponsor, Eco Technologies. We also want to thank Home Depot on Cattleman Road and Florida Native Plants of Sarasota County for donating raffle prizes for today's workshop. Okay, can we get started again? Folks, hope you enjoyed refreshments and seeing the exhibitors. I understand Mayor Atwell has joined us, and there you are.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, I couldn't see you. You were hiding back there.
That's
Thank you.
okay.
Okay, we're going to get started again, and our next session will be water connections in our community, something near and dear to my heart. And we have 4 great speakers following on the last set of great speakers. Hopefully you're enjoying it. I always enjoy this conference, and it's somehow reinvigorates me to hear about all the great things going on in the community. First speaker today will be Cheryl Harris, president and founder of Construction Resources Group in St. Pete, and she's as executive director of the Florida Association of Plumbing and Heating Cooling Contractors, and she participates in the Florida Rainwater Harvesting Initiative. Again, something near and dear to my heart in terms of use of cisterns and rainwater harvesting. Second, we'll hear from Maran Hilgendorf, communications manager for Charlotte Harbor National Estuary Program, and she's been in that position since 2000. The Estuary Program has been one of our sustainable communities workshop organizing partners, and they have been supporting us through managing our financial arrangements for a number of years. Our third speaker is Fraley. Karen currently works with the Florida West Coast RC&D, promoting local foods and community-supported agriculture. She serves as the education director for the local chapter, the Sarasota chapter of the Florida Native Plant Society. And our fourth speaker will be Sara, Kane, public outreach coordinator for the Sarasota Bay Estuary Program. And Sara is responsible for developing and implementing programs to raise the community's awareness about the Sarasota Bay Estuary Program and its mission to restore Sarasota Bay. And I would add that Sarasota Bay is in pretty darn good shape compared with a lot of areas, other bays and estuaries throughout the state. Please welcome each of our speakers for this very interesting water connections discussion. And Ms. Harris, you're up first.
Thank you so much for the invitation to be here. I appreciate it. This is the first time to be a part of this event, so this is a nice introduction to what your community is doing. I'm the executive director for 2 statewide organizations, as you mentioned one of them, which is the Plumbing, Heating, Cooling Contractors Association, of which you have a chapter, 2 chapters in this area. One is up in Manatee, and one is actually here in Sarasota County. These are basically your licensed contractors that work on your plumbing and fixtures and new systems, both commercial and residential. Then also represent the Florida Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Contractors Association, which you are probably glad that they're around because they keep you cool in the summertime. So without them, you'd be outside someplace sweltering. You have been participating as a community in a rainwater initiative program that is statewide. It was starting out to be very small, and then it grew actually statewide. This is not an organization of any type, but it's one where lots of organizations have come together that now realize that rainwater harvesting is something that we really, really need to look at in our communities. And it's not only good for the environment, but it also brings new jobs and new opportunities for various professionals in all of our communities, in this area as well. I think, how many of you actually do rainwater harvesting at home in some time? Well, that's quite good. So that means you know a lot about it. How many of, yeah, actually, congratulate yourselves. That's very good. Excellent. How many are doing more than just like a rain barrel type rainwater harvesting? Then the hands aren't quite as plentiful. Okay. Well, then let me skip through a couple of these slides and let you see what other possibilities there are besides just the rain barrel aspect. And I think those of you that are using rainwater harvesting know that rainwater harvesting is really an old technology, but now we're really putting a new twist on it because it's gotten much more sophisticated. And that's why there's opportunities for the plumbing and the HVAC professionals, the design professionals, to work in these communities because it is new. It's new technologies. So should I go backwards? Okay, just a little statistics which you may know. During the drought, we had about 34.88 inches of rain, and that was, for most people, that was lost, except for half of you here. You were able to capture some of that. That was 630 billion gallons of water just during the drought, which is kind of interesting statistics. And I think that was just in Sarasota County, if I'm not mistaken. Not all over the United States, so. If you are doing rainwater harvesting for more than just a barrel system, this is about how much water you can capture for residents or for commercial use. If you have a roof that's square footage, 0.6, the amount of water that you capture with a 1-inch rain event, it's like 1,000 square foot roof can capture 600 gallons of water with 1 inch of rain. That's about 31,800 gallons in a season here in Sarasota. That's quite a bit of water. So that's an incentive for all of you to look at some systems that are not just rain barrels. Here's a home just right here in, Siesta, is that in Siesta Key? Yeah, Siesta Key, real close. That has utilized a full system to capture rainwater and capture the water that's coming from your AC systems and to use it for whole house use. How many of you thought about using water all over the house and not just out in the lawns? Have you? A few of you. Okay. That's the new twist on what we have here for whole house with modern technology. Because what is happening is that you have an engineer or a design professional that's able to design a whole system for you to bring in the water into the home. It's captured from the roof, it's then stored, and then it's brought in. One of the things that you need to be careful about when you're considering a system like this is that you look at design professionals that have some experience in designing rainwater designs. If you don't, if you just find somebody off the street that says, oh yeah, I can design it, or you try to do it yourself, you may have a problem because you may contaminate your own drinking water from the municipal system. You certainly don't want to do that. The city's not going to be very happy because you may include your neighbor in that as well. So I don't think they're going to appreciate it. So what you want to do is make sure you have a design professional that knows what they're doing so that you can look at it, know how much you can store, how to filter it, what kind of filtration system that you need. And then when you're installing it, also look at a professional to install it, because that professional, which is usually a licensed plumber, is going to be making sure that the connections to your house and have proper connections so that you don't contaminate that potable water as well. And I was going to ask the question too, the water over there, is that rainwater? How come you're not using that today? You should have. That is an end result. Yeah, that next time. Next time we'll bring some samples. That is actually the furthest part that you can go with rainwater and using it at the home. Typically, you think of using it, maybe for flushing toilets. That's kind of, a little bit older technology, maybe for your laundry. But there are a lot of places, even in Florida, that are now starting to use rainwater for drinking water in the home. And it is fine to use, it's good, it's great water. And so next time we'll have rainwater here so you can taste it. The Am I getting close here? Sorry. I know I was cutting out of time a little bit. Okay. You gave me my 2-minute warning already. 30 seconds. Oh my God. Okay. The other aspect is that the newest technology that we have is capturing the condensate, which is the humid air turning into water through your AC systems. And when you capture that, you can do basically the same thing as you're capturing it with rainwater, only you do need to keep them separate because they have separate needs in terms of purifying the water, and so you don't want to mix the two. Remember that Legionnaire's disease that was out there? Well, that comes from the condensate from AC systems. So you want to make sure that that doesn't happen to you with this condensate. It is a technology that's very usable and is being used. And as you can see in this home, it was actually using condensate as well as rainwater. So there are a lot of resources in your own community. The associations that I represent are certainly there. The Rainwater Initiative. There is American Rainwater Catchment Association, ARCSA, which is out there that has great resources as well. So utilize the sources there to find people that can help you design systems and find the proper professionals to help you. And remember, this may be some very future good jobs for people and to keep our industries alive and our trades alive as well. So thank you for the opportunity, and I'm here to answer questions later. Thank you.
I'm Maran, Hilgendorf with the Charlotte Harbor National Estuary Program, and you guys have all been above average for all the questions that have been asked of you. So let's see if you hold true for this one. Who here knows what an estuary is? Yay. So you all know we're fresh and salt water mixed. And there are areas of our earth, our environment, that are so important because almost everything that lives in the ocean has to spend part of their life in an estuary. And you know also that we value them for their beauty and for lots of other ecosystem values. So I may reverse the order here. The PDF is already open. And instead of talking a little bit about the program, I'm going to tell you what I was going to tell you at the end, and that's to invite you to the table at the back of the room with the Charlotte Harbor National Estuary Program information, the woman in the teal shirt sitting there right now. We've got some information there where you learn about a program. This is the summary of our plan to protect the environment. So feel free to take that. We like to keep in touch with people. One of the ways we do that is through a quarterly newsletter called Harbor Happenings. If you sign up for this, you'll get this free 4 times a year, and you also get the 2012 calendar mailed to you. We've been able to include a poster as the centerfold for each of the issues, which has been really popular. And the issue I brought has the log-rated sea turtle poster in it. Hot off the press is our watershed report. It answers questions that a lot of people ask about the environment. Do our waters support diverse and healthy fish? Are they safe to eat? Is our habitat increasing or decreasing? What's the condition of our shoreline? Several other questions. So feel free to take this, and I'll give you some of the answers to those questions and more. And for those who don't like to read, we've got a DVD of 21 videos, and these range in length from 30 seconds, which is a public service announcement with Clyde Butcher on Keep a Picture Perfect, which is an anti-litter public service announcement, to a few 30-minute videos on neighbor-to-neighbor forward-friendly landscaping, and another one about our program. And so, our 2012 calendar. How many of you have seen our calendars? Right. All the images in our calendars are donated, and they show the beauty of the natural environment of this region. I post them on the website and let the public help select them. And so I've got a proof of the 2012 calendar, and this will be ready for mailing by the end of October. If anybody would like to take a sneak peek, I'll have it with me at the end of the day. So I do hope that you'll join me at the table at the next break. So I talked to you about the importance of our estuaries, and of course they're all along our shorelines of our land masses. And Congress created a program called the National Estuary Program that's administered through EPA. It's an amendment to the Clean Water Act. There's been 28 estuaries of national significance identified, and that was in 5 different groups. the Sarasota programs in the oldest group. They were in the first of the 5, and the Charlotte Harbor program is in the youngest group, so we're youngest of the 5 categories. There's several things about our programs. We all are very different, but we have some things in common. We all create a plan to protect the environment called the Comprehensive Conservation and Management Plan. We all are committee-driven, and after that, we have more differences than similarities. For the Charlotte Harbor National Estuary Program, we really stress the partnership aspect of our program. We try to do all we can to support those who are doing good work to protect the environment. We are committee-driven. We've got 4 committees, and I'd invite you all to consider joining our Citizens Advisory Committee. They meet 4 times a year, and it's throughout the 7 counties that participate in our program. One of the benefits of being a younger program is that we learn that you really need to protect the land that drains into the estuaries in order to protect the estuaries themselves. And so we very much are watershed-based. We range from Venice and Springs to Winter Haven. In our management plan, our CCMP, there's 4 issues that have been identified as common priority environmental problems. It's fish and wildlife habitat loss, water quality degradation, hydrologic alterations or water flow changes, and stewardship. And we address all those issues through research, restoration, advocacy, and stewardship. So again, I invite you to join me at the table at the end of the day, and thank you very much.
Fraley. I'm with the Florida West Coast RC&D, but I'm wearing my Florida Native Plants Society hat today. I also own and operate Around the Bend Nature Tours, so I was really interested to hear what the ecotourism group had to say. But today I want to talk with you about water in your yards, and the first slide was all about lawns. So how many in here have a lawn? In their yard? Grass, green grass. Okay, it's okay if it keeps going. I'm not going to be talking in order of the slides. I just kind of put them together. So a lawn is taking up a lot of water. And what we can do is reduce that lawn. So less than 5% of the land in the United States remains in natural areas. So there's 150 years ago, the southeastern United States was covered with pine flatwoods. More than 2/3 of our landmass was pine flatwoods. We don't see that very much anymore. We're seeing these areas are being reduced. We have, in Sarasota County, we're very fortunate to have this contiguous native lands, but many areas, especially in our urban areas, we're not seeing that. And so we need to think about bringing that natural areas back into our yards. Over 40 million acres of forest have become turf grass lawns. And the lawns are beautiful and they look green, but what is actually in, I didn't realize we're not going forward, what is in a lawn? What kind of, let's go back and look at a lawn. What lives there? Chinch bugs, fleas, fire ants. So not a whole lot. But when you think about a native landscape, you're looking at a lot more diversity. Scientists have determined that the number of species that survive in, what is this? The number of species that will survive the destruction of their habitat is a one-on-one proportion to the amount of habitat that's remaining. So, if we destroy 95% of our natural habitats, we're going to lose 95% of the animals that used to live there. So, the slides that are showing now are just a few of the natural habitats that have been found in our area. And these are gone when you see these conventional landscapes. So, think about removing small pieces at a time and planting native plants in your yard. And there's a really good way to do that this weekend. We have a native plant sale. Longwood Run Park. The Native Plant Society sells plants not very much above cost to get them out there. And there's a lot of experts available there this weekend. So to conserve water, because that's what we're talking about, you use native plants, you plant the right plant for your type of yard, and you're going to be, you only need to irrigate to get them established, and then if we have an extreme drought. So these plants have evolved over, in some cases, millions of years to live in our habitat. So they're easy to maintain if you've got the right plant in the right place. And they're going to bring in the diversity of wildlife that you're looking for. So, 30 seconds. I was going to talk a little bit about the RC&D because when you're landscaping with natives, you may want to use some mulch, and you want to be sure that you're using a good sustainable type of mulch. The Florida West Coast RC&D has, in addition to our 2 CSAs, the Geraldson Community Farm and the Gamble Creek Farm. Out at Gamble Creek, we also have a Center for Integrated Agriculture. And that, the Center for Integrated Agriculture is a teaching area, and they're also growing other crops. And one of the crops we're growing now is but a eucalyptus. We're growing a eucalyptus, not an invasive one, not Melaleucas, so sorry, slipped there. But there is a eucalyptus that we're growing, and that will definitely become mulch, and it may eventually be used as a biomass source. So there are many connections between agriculture and also native plants. Nurseries are agricultural, so consider going native. Thanks.
Hi, how's everyone doing? Good. Well, I'm Sara with the Sarasota Estuary program, and luckily Maran gave you a little bit of history on the estuary program for one of the 28 NEPs in the United States. And we support Sarasota and Manatee counties and have been doing that since 1989. Here's a picture of our watershed. Our mission is there. We strive to improve water quality, increase habitat, and enhance natural resources for the public to enjoy. Our watershed goes from Anna Maria Island Sound in the north and down to the Venice Inlet in the south. And that's our bay area, and as you can see in the green area there is our watershed area. We are a partnership organization. We signed an interlocal agreement with our local partners, and so we work on a local, state, and federal level. And so our partners are really integral to what we do as an organization. So not only are we working with these local county governments, but we're also working with other nonprofit organizations, NGOs, private industry to do some of our science and research that we do and some of our restoration projects. So water connections in our community. This is a picture of a recent planting at one of our restoration sites at North Lido Park. And if anybody hasn't been out there lately, you should definitely check it out. We planted around 8,000 plants, took out a bunch of invasive species, and actually created a new tidal creek in that area. And so this is a family that helped us come out and plant for the day. Here are some of our education and outreach programs that we have, really connecting people and our watershed and the bay itself. We have our peer education program, which that stands for Protection, Involvement, Education, and Restoration. And actually, Karen Fraley with Around the Nature Tours that you just met, she runs that program. And she also runs our Bay Guardian volunteer program. And that I'm going to talk about a little bit more later, but that is our volunteer program. And we also have community grants, mini grants that we give out to the community, to different neighborhood associations, education, schools, and different associations for grants. We also have free kayak tours, which kind of goes to the ecotourism we were talking about earlier, that we do from December until April. And we encourage bay-friendly landscaping techniques using native plants like Karen was talking about. We also have a Futures for the Planet program, which is our pet waste education program. And we just recently in April created a Creative Expressions Gallery on our website. We have around 450 different entries from different photographers. There's paintings, poems, and essays on our website, and it really takes the beauty and the importance of creativity in our community and shows pictures of wildlife and birds and all sorts of things to create that creativity and environmental stewardship together. And that's something you can check out on our website at sarasotabay.org. Here's just some pictures from our peer program, and with Karen's organization and Around the Bend Nature Tours, we've been able to touch around 37,000 students. And this is a hands-on learning experience for students where we actually take them out into the field and they can learn all about our aquatic life in our estuary system. Our Bay Partners grants, which I mentioned, we've done about $150,000 worth of grants to 90 local organizations, and that's bay-friendly landscaping, bay education, or bay restoration projects to different condo associations, nonprofit organizations, or schools. Here's some pictures of some recent events for our Bay Guardians, which are our volunteer program. We do about 6 events a year where we talk about the ecosystem, and then we plant native plants and take out invasive plants and remove debris. So I wanted to mention this because I think it ties in really well with our workshop today, and that is an economic value study that we're doing through Sarasota Bay. We just started it this summer, and we're working with Dr. Paul Hinesley at Eckerd College, and it's going to have 2 phases. The first phase is going to focus on direct and indirect values of our coastal ecosystem here in Sarasota Bay and its resources. And then the second phase is going to be a survey where we're going to look at commercial fishing, recreation, and other research and restoration projects, and how is that impacting our community. And just to give you an idea, Indian River Lagoon, which is one of our sister national estuary programs on the east coast of Florida, they did a similar study, and they came up with a total economic value of $3.7 million for their bay or their estuary and its resources. And then they also said it created 15,000 jobs. So this is some data that just came out from a organization called Restore America's Estuaries. And so I just wanted to share this with you. I don't have too much time left, but saying that the counties that live, or the coastal estuarine counties, make up 13% of the total land area in the U.S., and those same counties generate half of the nation's GDP and 40% of total employment. This is a really impactful statement as well. This is from the same report, that coastal habitat restoration projects typically create 20 to 32 jobs every $1 million invested. And we take that same $1 million and you look at road infrastructure projects, that's only 7 jobs, and oil and gas projects, only 5 jobs. So you can see that the restoration projects are really important for jobs in our community, and that money stays right in our local community. And Florida, we are the water state. We have a coastline of over 1,350 miles. Time's up, okay. The 2 main points I wanted to, on this slide, is just that marine fisheries and coastal tourism make up a lot of our economy, $10 billion and $15 billion annually. So everyone can do their part. A vibrant bay, a healthy bay, good water quality, abundant wildlife. It's all good for our economy, and it makes visitors and residents want to be here and live here. So thank you very much.
I want to thank all of our speakers, and just as a point of information, all of Sarasota County, and we're kind of unusual, are in one of 3 national estuary programs. About 5,000 acres of the Lakewood Ranch area flows north to the Tampa Bay Estuary Program, and then we have the Sarasota Bay Estuary Program, and everything from Venice Inlet down to about the middle of Lemon Bay is covered by the Charlotte Harbor National Estuary Program. And so we are fortunate in having those collegial bodies helping us protect those. Now I'd like to open up for questions, and I don't know if, I thought I saw John McCarthy heading out. I don't know if either of our other 2 speakers are still here. I can't pick them out, but anyone have any questions for either of the last 2 groups of speakers?
My name is Joe. I'm wondering, in the estuary programs, every time it rains, we have all this freshwater runoff that's too fast, too much. makes the place muddy and kills all the oysters. What are you doing to large enough scale to make an effect to stop this runoff?
Stormwater pollution is what you're talking about, and of course there is normal runoff, but when you add all the nutrients that water is picking up when it rains, it's picking up all sorts of things, fertilizers, pesticides, pet waste, and that's causing pollution, and it's causing the stormwater pollution to go directly into the bay. So there's a lot of things that we're actually trying to do to help with that situation, because it is our biggest source of pollution into the bay, and we are always looking at low impact development type and design for systems, whether that's doing bioswales, rain gardens, impervious pavements, and all sorts of things like that. And then we're working with Sarasota County and our other partners with some of the Sarasota Bay watershed management plans and looking at the stormwater in that aspect. So it is a major issue, and definitely doing things to.
I'd like to add to that. Part of the Sarasota Bay Peer Program is education, and our newest program is for high school students to learn low-impact development techniques directly. So we do that on campus, and also in conjunction with a field trip to Oscar Scherer Park, where they actually design a low-impact development scheme for the park. And that's teaching our future leaders, cutting-edge technology that they can use as they go on to college and start implementing these things. The other thing is, in your very own yard, if you find a low spot that's going to drain off, put in a bioswale or a rain garden. Very simply, plant native plants there so they can clean and filter before it goes into the stormwater system.
Charlotte, our program is very similar work, and in fact, the rain garden is going to be an article for the next issue of the newsletter to encourage the 11,000 readers of the newsletter to do something similar.
And that's another reason to consider the more sophisticated systems of rainwater harvesting, and that's part of the rainwater initiative. One of the things that we're looking at is the stormwater impact. So Sarasota County is participating in that initiative, and we'll be bringing those ideas back and trying to encourage all of you and developing areas to put in rainwater catchment systems as the area is developed, not just individual homes. So those are some things to think about as well.
I'd like to thank all of our speakers from the Water Connections group and